When it emerged from conflict in 1999, Kosovo found itself on a course towards independence. The people of Kosovo faced major challenges in rebuilding an economy damaged by the collapse of socialism and then war. With the help of IMF technical assistance, they had to create basic economic institutions, starting with the central bank.
It was the time just after the war here, and one of the main difficulties was that there were no banks at all in this country.
It was a very tough situation because there was very little of infrastructure that we immediately could work with.
Before the war, money and banking in Kosovo fell under the domain of the National Bank of Yugoslavia. After the conflict, although Kosovo had not yet declared its independence, the UN administrators established the Banking and Payments Authority of Kosovo, a de facto central bank to get the economy back on its feet.
In our experience, the single most important thing to pay attention to is the payment system initially. If you don't get the payment system to work properly, you won't be able to pull in capital and funds from abroad. You can't get the economy going again.
A decision had to be taken as to what currency to use. Before the conflict, the legal tender was the Yugoslav dinar, but the use of the Deutschmark had been widespread.
The decision there was to use the Deutschmark. This was a very important decision because it gave credibility to the money, which is one of the foundations in restructuring a country and setting up a functioning central bank.
Kosovo then began using the euro when it replaced the Deutschmark in 2002. But these early steps to build a banking system paved the way for commercial banks to set up shop.
The need for financial services for the population and for the international community which was being deployed in Kosovo was huge. So ProCredit started its operations by providing the basic banking services, payment services, and bank account services. So we were indeed the very first bank in the country, and we played a very important role in the establishment of the banking sector that was going to come.
Another key task was to develop people with the skills to run a central bank.
We agreed that the IMF would identify an international experienced banker with central bank background to start the central bank pretty much from scratch. We had a process of what we call Kosovarization, where we would over time replace the international expert with local experts.
Current central bank governor Gani Gërguri was hired to head the Department of Research and Statistics in those early days. Working closely with the IMF and other technical assistance providers, he gained the skills needed to be selected for the bank's top job in 2009.
Personally, I grew with the central bank. At the beginning, it was very challenging for me as well, because also I had opportunities to work for other organizations, but I wanted to contribute for the development of my country.
Progressively, all management positions in the central bank were taken over by Kosovars. Since Kosovo declared its independence in 2008, the IMF has been providing a resident advisor to the central bank governor.
I tried to get very close to the problems at the central bank of Kosovo, get very close to people who are working, because institutions are nothing but people who work for these institutions.
Today, the Central Bank of Kosovo has shifted from being a pure technical assistance recipient to being a TA provider. It's come full circle. IMF-trained staff, such as mentor Geci, are now going around the world training people in other central banks.
When I started the central bank, we were 3 people per computer. So we actually started from nothing. And we had no internet access, no printer, nothing, just our computers.
Kosovo's banking system has come a long way since then, and so has Kosovo, with recent efforts to stimulate private sector development and the launch of major infrastructure projects, such as the highway linking landlocked Kosovo with the Albanian coast.
Nowadays, the Central Bank of Kosovo provides a very sound framework of properly supervising and monitoring the financial sector in Kosovo.
Kosovo's banking sector is young, but it is very stable and sound. It is well capitalized, it's very liquid, and it is having the lowest non-performing loans ratio in the region.
Even during the financial crisis in 2008 and afterwards, we did not experience any bank run or any deposit withdrawal from the banks. ProCredit Bank and the entire banking sector in Kosovo was at a very strong situation where the population did not lose the trust in the banking sector at any moment.
The most fundamental thing is to have a good central bank law and a good banking law, good payments law, currency law, etc. That takes time. There are international best practices in many of these areas, and they are best practices for a very good reason.
We are a young country with a young population, and young population is serving as a catalyst of faster transition, transformation, and acceptance of best practices. I think the dark times of this region have passed, and as a region we have a bright future.